Okay, let's unpack this. Today, we are undertaking a deep dive into an absolutely singular narrative, a real-life account distilled from the experience of an American soldier, Michael J. Ross. He's trapped, alone, in one of the most hostile places imaginable, the Sharaf Desert.
Right, and this isn't just, a standard survival
Or
story.
far more, it's a terrifying psychological case study, really. Our source material drops us right into the thick of it. Ross is isolated, radio's dead.
The mission's a bust.
Exactly. And he's dragging himself through this insane heat, 54 degrees Celsius. But even that, the physical exhaustion, the thirst, it feels like background noise almost.
Compared to what's going on inside his head.
Yeah. The memory of his partner, Evans, who we had to leave behind, the physical situation is hellish, obviously, but the mental one, that's about to get so much worse.
That framing is absolutely key here. What we're seeing in these sources is this deliberate, almost clinical stripping away of everything. His unit, his training, his ability to move.
His sanity, ultimately.
Precisely. This deep dive is kind of unique because it forces you listening, to look at how the human mind can just fragment under perfect immobility and this constant mortal threat.
So what are we trying to get at here? What's the core insight?
Well, the ultimate point the sources drive home is that the real danger, the minefield he's terrified of, it isn't necessarily the physical thing in the sand under his foot.
It's already inside him.
Exactly. It's already been planted in his head. We're looking at the psychological fallout, the internal war.
And the trigger for this whole collapse. It's so small, so quiet, almost anticlimactic.
Yes, to sound.
The dry, metallic click. The sources describe it vividly. It's too small for a gunshot, but it just stops everything. His right boot sinks a tiny bit in the sand and he hears it.
And instantly the training kicks in. Overrides the panic for a second.
Right. That line, if you hear a click, stop breathing. Your next decision will be your last. Chilling.
That training, that discipline, it keeps him alive initially.
Yeah.
But it also traps him in this awful psychological state. Perfect, agonizing stillness.
So the survival method becomes the torture method.
In a way, yes. Immobilization, but think about it. Every muscle twitch, every tiny shift in weight, even just trembling from exhaustion, it could all be fatal.
Yeah.
His own body becomes the enemy.
That's a powerful idea. I mean, this is a soldier trained for constant movement, for action. What happens psychologically when all that training demands absolute stillness? When it's useless?
Well, he doesn't just freeze mentally, not at first.
He tries to problem solve, use his training.
Absolutely. That's the first stage, you could say. The failure expertise. He thinks like an engineer. Can I drive my rifle barrel into the sand to shift weight? Can I adjust my pack somehow?
Technical solutions?
Right. But they're impossible. Any movement, even a millimeter, catastrophic potential.
Yeah.
The source material makes it really clear. After maybe half an hour of trying to think his way out
Oh,
rationally,
you realize it.
it hits him. There's no tool, no technique. Nothing from his training can fix this. It's just him, his foot, and this overwhelming fear.
And physically, what's happening to his body over these 4 days? The sources paint a brutal picture. How does that physical decay feed back into the mental state?
Oh, it's a vicious cycle. It starts with the environment itself, that insane 54-degree heat during the day. The sand feels like a living blade through his boot, is how it's described.
Searing heat.
But then the moment the sun drops, it plunges into this invisible cold that just sucks the heat right out of him. His body's constantly fighting extremes, draining every reserve.
And the dehydration must be setting in hard.
It accelerates rapidly.
Yeah.
There's a critical point mentioned when the sweat stops. That's the body shutting down non-essential functions, going to crisis mode.
Oh, wow.
His throat feels like swallowing glass. And crucially, this physical collapse completely shatters his sense of time.
His watch stopped working.
Yeah, the physical watch is irrelevant. His internal clock breaks. Hours feel like minutes, then minutes stretch into these endless voids of silence. Time distortion. It's a classic sign of the brain starting to buckle under extreme stress.
Okay, so technical solutions fail. The body is breaking down. The mind, it has to go somewhere, right? Does it pivot?
It absolutely pivots. And this is where we shift focus. We leave the physical minefield, step out of the literal sand, and walk straight into the psychological one.
This is the core argument you mentioned earlier.
Exactly. The source puts it bluntly. The psychology of war isn't in the battles, but in what happens after the silence. Once he's frozen, immobilized, the silence isn't empty. It gets loud.
And what fills it?
Something far more destructive than heat or thirst. It's the guilt. Specifically, guilt over Evans.
His partner. Left behind, injured, behind a dune. Now, I have to ask, Isn't that a bit harsh? Soldiers are trained for self-preservation too, right? Was it really a failure or just a horrific necessity of the situation?
The narrative suggests that for Ross, in this extreme isolation, guilt stops being just an emotion. It becomes like a condition, a permanent state. The internal voice, the accusations are relentless.
You ran, you laugh at him.
Yes. And the source material gives this feeling a terrifying tangibility. It says the guilt has a smell, a texture, a weight. Standing there, stock still, Ross realizes the physical weight on the mind is almost nothing compared to this ethical weight.
So regret is worse than fear.
That's what the source posits,
Yeah.
Because fear, maybe it passes, but regret, it's fixed, it's done, infinite, immutable,
And the isolation fuels this.
profoundly. The desert becomes this cruel mirror. It reflects back not just the heat and emptiness, but his own fears, his memories, until everything just blurs. Reality, thought. The lines dissolve.
So the mind tries to protect itself.
It tries. It desperately grasps for something familiar. So it dredges up these memories, these voices. He vividly sees his father back home on the porch in Nebraska. He hears his sister laughing.
But you wouldn't call those comforting. They sound like they should be anchors.
You'd think so. But the sources classify them as cruel reminders. Because in that state, seeing his father isn't comfort. It's a stark, immediate visualization of everything he's probably lost forever.
Oh, I see.
The memories just hammer home the permanence of his situation, the life slipping away. They fuel the conviction that maybe he deserves this, that this is punishment.
Which leads us into actual delusion. When sleep deprivation, lack of food, lack of movement, when it all takes its toll, the mind starts to, cannibalize itself?
That's a good way to put it. The brain starts firing off memories almost randomly, like confused, hostile projectiles. The internal threats completely swamp the external ones.
So he doesn't just remember Evans.
No, he hears him. He hears Evans screaming, clear as day, calling for help. Then other voices start. Foreign voices, chilling whispers right in his ear.
Saying things like,
You're already dead, you just haven't realized it yet.
Jesus, and the visual stuff, the shimmering air, shapes moving in the distance.
Yeah, shadows that move like animals, maybe jackals, maybe leopards, or maybe just hallucinations. It's impossible to tell. But the most visceral detail, the one that really gets you, it's the spider.
Right. I found that part genuinely shocking. What does that signify?
He opens his eyes, and there's this enormous black desert spider right there on his boot.
And every instinct must be screaming at him to react. Stomp it, brush it off.
Of course, primal fear. But he can't move, not an inch. He's forced to stay perfectly still as this thing, this real tangible threat, crawls up his leg, over his chest, and stops right near his face.
That's torture. The inability to act against a real threat while trapped by a potential one.
It's the ultimate breaking point, psychologically. It forces him to hold both terrors at once. The abstract, technical fear of the mind, and the immediate, visceral fear of the creature. Maximum fight or flight signals firing, with zero possibility of doing either.
Cognitive dissonance to the extreme.
Exactly. It confirms the brain's fragmentation. It's processing external reality, the spider, and internal delusion, the voices with the same paralyzing weight.
And then comes the false hope, the mirage, the emotional peak, or maybe the nadir. He hears it first. Distinct sound of rotor blades. Crystal clear.
He must think he's saved.
He looks up, he sees it. The American symbol, the colors, even a figure waving from the door. He screams. Forgets the pain, forgets the risk of shifting his weight. Just pure, desperate hope.
And then,
It just dissolves. The sound fades. The image wavers and vanishes like smoke. Gone.
devastating to have salvation dangled like that, only to realize that it was just his own mind playing tricks.
Exactly. The sources have a chilling phrase for that moment. Hope, the final enemy.
Wow.
The brain, utterly desperate, offers the cruelest possible irony rescue and then snatches it away. That complete betrayal by his own perception, it pushes him over the edge.
Is that when he fires the rifle?
Yes. In that panic and despair, he does something completely irrational. Fires his rifle shot after shot as shadows on a dune. The noise is deafening.
And he instantly regrets it, worries the vibration might set off the mine. Right. Pure panic action, followed by immediate fear of the consequence. But nothing happens. The shot echoes, dies out. No explosion. The ground is still firm.
So that brings us to the fourth night. The turning point. He's numb now, fragmented.
Completely. He feels like the army of ghosts, the internal voices, they've won. He's basically accepted death.
And the voices change them.
They do. They're not just accusing anymore. He hears one described as calm, almost sweet. Not angry, just observational.
What does it say?
You're not trapped by the mind, you're trapped by the guilt. The internal crisis has completely reframed the external threat. It's a diagnosis almost.
He's ready to give up.
He is, and then he feels it. A slight shift underfoot, a tiny tremor, and he hears that sound again. That same unmistakable metallic snap, the click.
Oh my God, after everything.
Total instant terror floods back,
Yeah.
but just for a fraction of a second. Then acceptance. He actually smiles weakly. If it's now, so be it. He closes his eyes, waits for the end,
An end.
and nothing.
Nothing.
Nothing happens. The explosion never comes. The ground is still. The mechanism didn't detonate. He opens his eyes. The desert is silent again, just the wind.
So the mind.
The implication is staggering. He realizes, in that moment, maybe it was never armed. Maybe it wasn't even a real mind. Maybe the entire 4-day hell was purely psychological.
It was inert, or maybe never there at all. So the agony, the dehydration, the madness, the guilt, all triggered by a sound, a false alarm.
like a placebo bomb.
Yeah.
The expectation of death, the knowledge it could be real, combined with the immobility and the guilt, that was enough to generate the trauma. The trap wasn't the explosive, it was his own mind.
That's profound. What happens then?
He collapses, laughing and crying simultaneously. Finally free from the physical trap, the stillness. But the source is clear. The cost is immense. Something was lost forever. His mind is no longer the same. He survived the sand, yes, but now he has to survive himself.
That is a profoundly disturbing conclusion. It really drives home how, under that kind of extreme pressure and isolation, guilt isn't just painful, it can actually rewire the mind into a self-destruct sequence.
Regardless of the external reality.
Right, it functions whether the physical threat is real or not. Ross was trapped by his conscience long before his foot hit that spot.
Absolutely. And there's this final image. Michael gets up, starts walking away, and the wind immediately starts wiping away his footprints in the sand, erasing the evidence.
Leaving no trace.
And that image leaves us, and you the listener, with the final really provocative thought from the source material. It just lands with such weight. Surviving the war is easy. The hard part is surviving yourself.
That definitely hits hard. And it echoes far beyond a battlefield, doesn't it? It forces you to think about our own internal minefields, the ones we create with guilt or regret or isolation, how sometimes we become the mechanism of our own paralysis. Something to really reflect on. Thank you for diving deep with us today.